question is, are you all right? You okay? Huh? Huh?
I don't know.
Oh, Tony. Gee, what happened to you? You look like hit by a truck.
Good, because that's just how I feel. Oh, somebody was in here, man. That guy tried to kill me.
Was it Mr. Yakamura?
No, he was younger, stronger.
Did you get a look at him?
No, he had a hood on him. He's just like a ninja. All in black. Did you see somebody?
No.
Come on, he's probably still...
Hey, take it easy.
Oh.
Tony! Tony, what happened?
What's going on? It's okay, Jim's here.
What? No, I just bumped my head a little bit, that's all.
Here, let me take a look. Okay, let's get him on the couch. I don't want to take any chances. Take it easy, operation.
Who did this to you?
Hey, come on, I'm fine.
Who did
Sure
this?
you are. Take it easy. Sit down. There you go.
Who did this?
I don't know.
Yeah, well, somebody paid him a visit, and they left this as a calling card.
Mr. Yakamura?
No. But it wasn't any ghost, either. This is a real person, and I got real lumps to prove it. Miss Piper knows there's someone else on the payroll she's doing her dirty work for.
Uh-huh. And somebody we don't know.
Oh, yeah, don't touch that. There's probably fingerprints on it. We want to take those.
Oh, I'm not so sure about that. I can't make out anything. Listen. Here, Hannibal. Careful now. Careful now.
Sorry.
Hold those. You may need them for evidence. I'm gonna have to go. I gotta get back to Piper before she starts to suspect anything. Now, you keep these doors locked, all right? Everything. Close the window. I'll call you later.
What is this star thing?
It's called a shuriken. It's kind of a martial arts knife that sticks in no matter how you throw it. You believe me now? Believe you about what? That Mrs. Piper is the one that's doing all this. She sent that guy over here, and it's just a matter of time till we prove it.
Is that you again, little boy?
No, dear, it's just me.
Well, Miss Emma Witherspoon, whatever are you doing in the shrubbery?
Looking for artifacts.
Oh.
A historian never knows where she might find interesting things.
Oh, very peculiar ones.
My, aren't we having a wonderful time tonight?
Yes, absolutely the time of my life.
Of course, I am a wee bit disappointed that Mayor Potter didn't give me the Founders' Day Award. Well, you should have got one, too. After all, this is a celebration of Springfield's history. And who has more history than you and me?
I have no history in Springfield, just a little bit of the past. Excuse me, Miss Emma. I think I shall go and make a little history of my own.
Oh, are you looking for artifact, too?
No, I'm a doctor.
A
Dr. Claire Ramsey.
A doctor? Oh, how wonderful. You know, I've had the worst arthritis lately. Oh, perhaps you could tell me what to do.
Why don't I get back to you on that, okay? What? Aren't you Springfield's historian?
Yes, I am. Emma Witherspoon's my name. History is my game.
I can't tell you how happy I am to meet you. I hear you know everything there is to know about Springfield.
Well, between Susan and myself, I think that we do. Did you ever hear about the Luttrell murder case where Adif murdered her sister Moselle? It's a little gory, but I think maybe I should tell you about it.
Perhaps another time. Listen, I'm Miss Witherspoon. I do have something I would like to ask you about. I have some friends who just moved into this very, very old house on 7th Street, 743 7th Street. It must have a fabulous history. Do you know anything about it?
7th Street. Oh, yes, I remember that house. But Susan would know more about it. Her agency owned it for years. I was surprised when she let it go.
Do you know who lived there before it was sold? Do you?
Nobody. That house was empty all the time she owned it. But I do know something about the people who lived there before that.
Do you really? What?
Oh, yes, yes. They were nice, very nice people. 6 children.
Do you remember their name?
Warbash, Warfield. No. They lived on 6th Street, and they had 7 children.
Well, what about 7th Street, 743 7th Street? Do you remember anything?
Oh, yes, of course I remember 743 7th Street. Yes, it's that big Georgian house with the white magnolias. Yes.
Ramsey, excuse us. Where's Piper?
She was just here a minute ago.
I thought you were going to keep an eye on her for me.
Well...
Oh, you can't trust anybody these days.
Wait a minute. Will you tell me about Tony and Annabelle's car?
Oh, these young people. They don't stay still long enough to have a decent conversation.
To see this place. And I got a really great idea. We'll have a couple of girls on a trapeze over the dance floor for when the place really gets rocking.
Hey, sounds great, right?
Yeah.
Maybe a beautiful blonde chick in a sequin outfit swinging on it.
Hey,
No,
don't you look at me. I think it's an all-around tacky idea, you
Oh, come on. Look, I just hope that the money I gave you helps you out, that's all.
Well, listen, how about coming in with me? You got some money now.
Well, I don't know. I haven't decided yet what I want to do with it. Besides, I thought you wanted to be your own look club.
Well, a guy can always use a partner, especially one with megabucks. And this check is not going to cover all the expenses.
I'll think about it, okay?
Take your chances. Take your chances. Hit the man with the pie. Hit the man with the pie. How do you do, my name? How do you do? Hit the man with the pie. Take your chances. Take your chances.
Lou Jack paid some money back to Floyd. That's all I heard.
Hey, all right. That's great. Thanks a lot, Gina.
Okay, step right up close. Okay, so where they are. Lady, you got his. Hey! You got the pink teddy bear for your lady. That's great. That's
I only
great.
left him alone for 5 minutes. Have you seen Jim?
Not since we got here, no.
He's done it again.
What?
He's left me at another party.
Marry me, sweetheart. I'll never leave you in the lurch.
You never give up, do you, Darnell?
Not until you say yes.
I'll think about it.
You having a good time, darling?
No, not really. I'm a little tired. I'd like to go home.
You know, I really used to be.
Please, just take me home.
Oh, darling, where have you been? I've been worried about you.
Well, we're just going home, Daddy.
Did you get a chance to talk to him? Well,
I'm going to call you tomorrow morning.
my poor...
Harvesting gets this crowd mighty hungry, especially for my blue ribbon Crisco cooking. Crisco made all this, Loretta? Crisco made it all delicious. And Crisco makes my country fried chicken this crispy. Can't beat that Crisco crunch.
No greasy taste here.
And Crisco has no cholesterol.
I found dessert.
That's my chocolate caramel cake. Crisco's what makes it rise so high and light and taste this moist. You'll find lots of Crisco recipes in your Crisco cookbooks. And to get yours, just dial 1-800-5-CRISCO. Hey, do you call that working hard?
I call this eating good.
Crisco will do you proud every time.
I can't find...
Bye.
I'll be home at 10. 9. Can I bring a few guys home? A few. Okay, about 6. Bye.
Come away. Come away from the stress to a new High Point and relax. High Point coffee helps smooth out the rough edges, smooth in relaxation. By taking special steps, High Point gently washes away not only caffeine, but also bitterness that can interrupt your coffee pleasure. Since relaxing moments don't last forever, make the most of yours.
Mom! I missed the bus.
Come to a new High Point that smooths out rough edges, smooths in relaxation.
No. When I gave the signal, Fletcher was gonna bring Miss Piper over here. We were gonna make her stand here face to face with Yakamura and make him admit what was going on. But this other guy showed up and things didn't work out exactly like I thought they would.
To say the least. Pal, you're lucky he didn't kill you.
Yeah, well, next time he won't be so lucky.
Next time? There is not going to be a next time. The police are going to handle this.
What are you doing?
I am calling the police.
No, you're not gonna call the police. You call the cops and Piper will back off.
Tony, that's exactly what you wanted to do.
No, it isn't what I want to do. I want to catch her here red-handed. I want to make her pay for everything she's put us
Tony,
through.
look, I hate that woman as much as you do, but we can't handle this. But those things are not Tinker toys.
Well, handling it my way sure makes a lot more sense than drumming up ghosts and goblins.
Oh, come on. Jim and I are conducting legitimate research here.
Come on, you're on a witch hunt. And I want it to stop.
Well, it's not going to stop.
We made a major breakthrough. We're not stopping.
I don't want to hear about your major breakthrough. There's nothing psychic going on here. This is Piper's doing. Tonight should prove that to you.
And I think you're wrong.
Well, I know you're wrong.
Good luck. No, I think we should leave. I'm getting tired. Stacy's asleep somewhere with Henry, and I want to check on AJ.
All right. I'll tell you what. As soon as I find Jonathan, we'll leave.
All right. You know, you've been looking for that boy all night long.
I know.
You know, I really think you care about him.
I surprised myself.
Come on, let's go look for him.
All right.
Have I told you how gorgeous you look tonight?
Twice.
Twice. I guess I can't tell you now. Did you enjoy dancing with Warren?
Oh, yes, but I had a little trouble keeping up with him. Did you enjoy dancing with the Baroness?
Well, not as much as I'm enjoying dancing with you. Shall we dance the night away?
Looks like we won't be stealing any more dances with Lillian and Mike tonight.
I'd say not. That's all right. I like having you for my partner.
Well, it's about time you admitted it.
Warren.
I am so sick of this dance floor. What about you?
I am aching. It's been quite a day.
Let's go home.
I like you, Philip. I like you a lot.
I like you too, Gina.
I'd do anything for you, Philip. Anything.
Are you going to go in with Floyd on the nightclub?
I don't know. I'm not thinking about it right now. I got other things on my mind.
Like what?
Like you. And the beach. I want to take you back there again.
Really?
Yeah.
Great. When do you want to go? Wow.
Right now.
Go on. Why resist it?
Sugar-free Jell-O gelatin. Give in to the taste. Cool and refreshing, deliciously tempting.
It tastes like Jell-O to me.
How can it be? Give in to the taste.
It's made with NutraSweet, and it's only 8 calories per serving.
Sugar-free Jell-O gelatin. Give in to the taste.
I remember when my brother's team won the championship. The whole team came to our house for Kool-Aid. They looked so proud, and I wished I was on the team. Today, my daughter's doing what I only dreamed of. The one thing hasn't changed. I make Kool-Aid unsweetened with my sugar for about 1/4 the price of soda, and with vitamin C. It was the one for me, and it's the one for my champ.
Kool-Aid is the one for kids.
Kool-Aid brand soft drink mix. Who knows you better than Kleenex? Jim Freeman?
Huh?
Who else knows your walk?
Everybody.
Oh, then how come it was Kleenex brand that invented the pocket pack?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, everybody makes boxes. We make them too, but you can't put a box in your sport coat.
No.
And Jim, those full-size tissues do come in handy.
Yeah.
Who knows you better than Kleenex?
So thoughtful.
Who knows you better than we do?
Thanks.
We're kind of celebrating because Hunt's All Natural is now America's favorite thick barbecue sauce. Wonder what did it? Was it the chunks of real vegetables? Or is it because Hunt's is the only thick sauce that's all natural? Of course, I think it tastes better.
Oh, well, I think you did it.
Thanks. Only don't tell him you're my mom, okay? Hunt's All Natural. It's America's favorite thick barbecue sauce.
Teresa!
Come into the world of CBS. You'll be with the friends you love the best.
We'll follow your lead, we'll bring you along. We've got great shows all week long.
Get the touch of CBS. We've got the touch. You and CBS. We've got the touch. You and CBS. We've got the touch. CBS.
Perhaps you should consider computerizing the polling process. Door-to-door and telephone survey methods are terribly antiquated.
You may have a point there, young man, but I don't know if computer acquisitions are in the budget this fiscal year. Oh, there you are. We've been looking all over for you. I hope, Mayor, the young man hasn't been talking your ear off. Actually, he's made some very interesting suggestions. Oh, it's good. But we're leaving now. It's past your bedtime.
No, it's not. Go on without me. I'll go catch a cab later.
You'll go home now. Good night. Good night.
Oh, I guess it's good night, Mayor. Listen, don't take any of his suggestions too seriously. You know, he's not a taxpayer yet.
Good night.
There you are. Where were you? Why didn't you leave breadcrumbs the next time?
I'll remember that next time.
Yeah?
Went over to Tony and Annabelle's for a while.
Ah, made any interesting poltergeist?
No, I'll explain it to you on the way home, my dear.
That's what you are to me.
Claire.
Oh, hi, Ross.
Could we at least... I promise to let you go after the serenade.
I have been such a lousy date. I want to apologize.
Oh, that's all right, but what have you been up to all evening?
You don't want to.
Susan. Well, you shouldn't go around sneaking up on people like that.
And you shouldn't have left me like that. I'm not accustomed to it.
Oh, well, I am sorry, but I felt that I needed to take a long walk after my talk with Claire.
Oh. Are you breaking up yet again with your fiancée?
Yes, she got my message.
And why were you kissing her so passionately?
Guess old habits die hard.
Fletcher, old man, I'm afraid I'm going to have to teach you some new habits.
Well, I think we found the most isolated spot in the park.
Oh, think again. That tree is taken.
Oh, my, didn't I just see him with Claire a while ago?
I don't know. I'll tell you the truth, I've lost track. We could always just give up and go home and try our own bed.
I'll work on your bedside manner.
Wow. You can be seductive when you want to. Dangerously seductive.
I can also be just plain dangerous when I'm crossed. See that you never do that.
I need to talk.
Listening.
I was really bothered by the way that you blew up at Jim and me. We're not the ones who attacked you.
Well, you could have fooled me. Seems every time I turn around these days, you and Jim are fighting me.
That is not true. We're just trying to figure out what's going on in this house. And our methods might be different than yours, but we're all after the same end. Look, Tony, I want this harassment to stop as much as you do.
I know how we can do it.
How?
Move. I'm sick of this house.
I am not moving.
Fine. It's great. You live in your haunted house. I'm going to bed.
Tony.
It did fool me. I would have sworn that it was sugared gum.
Tastes so good.
I was surprised that this was tried and sugarless gum.
Taste the one.
It's a long-lasting flavor.
Taste the one that'll win you over to sugarless gum.
4 out of 5 dentists surveyed recommend sugarless gum for their patients who chew gum.
Tried and sugarless gum has a great taste. It wouldn't hurt my teeth.
Taste the one that'll win you over to sugarless gum.
I think it's outstanding.
Yuck, I told you to use Fruit Fresh.
Oh, I forgot.
Look, your peach brown and yucky. Mine with Fruit Fresh, fresh and yummy.
Canned, frozen, or fresh. Keep fruit deliciously fresh with Fruit Fresh.
Oh!
Nice trip, Gladys.
Can't sleep.
Take Somonex, too.
You can't buy a more effective sleep aid. It has diphenhydramine, the non-prescription sleep ingredient most preferred by doctors. Advanced, effective Somonex 2.
This has been Guiding Light. Fashions provided by Lily Rubin Salon, South Southwest, and Barney's. Jewelry by Stephen Dweck.
Good afternoon from CBS News. This is Newsbreak. John DeLorean, the ex-automaker, has been found not guilty of all charges of conspiring to traffic in cocaine. After a 4-month trial, the jury acquitted DeLorean this afternoon on all 8 counts against him. The economic news today is mixed. The government reports that new home construction declined sharply in July, down 6.6%. Officials blaming high mortgage interest rates. But in the same month, the government says the country's factory operations increased, reaching the highest level in 4 years. Disaster at an offshore oil rig today near Brazil. Authorities say that 40 oil workers were killed after an explosion and fire on the rig some 140 miles north of Rio de Janeiro. Now this.
When you need a laxative, who do you trust?
For my family, it's always X-Lax. It's our family friend, eh?
Gentle X-Lax pills.
Helps your body help itself.
An American rocket was launched into space today carrying satellites from 3 nations, this country, West Germany, and England. The satellites will create the appearance of an artificial comet in a study of solar wind. And finally, bowing to the times in the United States Supreme Court, the Junior Chamber of Commerce voted today to reverse long-standing policy and for the first time to admit women into their organization. I'm Robert Shackney, CBS News, Washington. More news later on this CBS station.
This is CBS.
Syndicated television series, People's Court. He was actually a municipal superior court judge for 20 years, practiced law for 16 years, and although he retired in 1979, he has been residing over People's Court since it went on the air in 1981. Would you welcome, please, Judge Joseph Wapner. Thank you. Really, sir. Oh, come on now. Let's have a little decorum in the courtroom here.
I didn't even bring my gavel.
Didn't bring the gavel tonight. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
It really is. I am a fan of the show. I find it intriguing. And you've been on since, well, now come on, for another reason. When it first
I
went
don't think
on,
they should pick on you like that.
boy, they really do, don't they? You know, you're very popular because I noticed every time this week I would mention your name that you're going to be on the show, the audience applauded like crazy. So you must have a very large audience for that show. What do you attribute the fact it's become so popular? I think when it first went on, people thought for a moment that it was like a recreation with actors or something, and you were an actor playing a judge, and then they found out, of course, you are a judge.
No, it's a real show, and I think that's one of the assets of the show. And the fact is that young people like it. And I think that's good. It's better for them to be watching and get respect for the law than it is to be smoking pot or doing something else.
Yeah, I think you're right there. What is it now? Besides, it's become very popular with the young people, but now, what are the conditions? If somebody goes to People's Court, does this have to be under a certain amount of money? Is this a court of, anyway, last resort that other courts do not handle, or what?
No, it's small claims court.
Right.
The jurisdictional limit is $1,500 in California.
I see.
Throughout the country, it's different. Some are $300, some it goes up to $5,000.
Oh, I see.
But in California, it's limited to $1,500.
Can anyone file a small claim against somebody? What is the procedure? If you have a bill and somebody hasn't paid it, what do you have to do?
Well, you just go down to the small claims court. You plunk down $12 and say, I want to sue so-and-so. You fill out a form. You have someone over the age of 18 who's not a party to the action serve it. And you're on your way. And 6 weeks later, you'll have a trial.
No,
and see, our cases come directly from the small claims because they're the real cases that have already been filed.
Oh, I see. They have been filed. Then they come to you.
Well, they don't come to us. We come to them.
Oh, I see.
If they come to us, we won't take the case.
Right. How many cases have you presided over in that show?
In that show, well, we do, I would say we've already done about 1,000.
Yeah. Now, since you were a Superior Court judge for 20 years and a lawyer, did you have any reservations about going on television?
Well, I had some. Because I wanted to be sure it was ethical. And I checked with the vice president of the state bar and with the president of the California Judges Association and also the ethics committee chairman, and they said it was fine. Yeah. And then since then, dealing with Stu Billett and Ralph Edwards, you couldn't deal with two more honorable people, so ethics is way up the top.
And whatever decision you hand down, that has to be accepted by both the...
Yes, they sign an agreement in advance to be bound by my decision.
Have you ever had anybody, after you've made a decision, get very upset and say...
Oh, they get upset.
Yeah.
50% of the people don't like my decision. I had a neighbor dispute, and a woman was accusing this man of encroaching on her fence 3/4 of an inch. It was a brick fence. He said he chipped it off. She said he didn't. And when she lost the case, Doug Llewellyn said to her afterwards, and I know that now you'll probably be able to be neighborly with your friend next door. She said, if he comes near me, I'll kill him.
Didn't exactly lead to good neighborliness?
No, not at all.
Okay, we're going to take a short break, then we're going to come back and talk some of the other cases. Stay where you are. We are back, and we're talking with Judge Joseph Walker. Before we get back to the small claims, I was intrigued to find out that you presided over one of the largest, was in the Guinness Book of Records, I believe.
Yes, I understand.
One of the largest divorce cases ever in the history of this country. That was Jack Kent
Cook and his wife. Yes, that was just before I retired, about 6 months before I retired. They came in, another judge had the case for trial.
Right.
Sent it down to me for settlement. We worked 8 days around the clock. On the 8th day, his lawyer said, Mr. Cook has to be excused now because he's got to see the eye doctor. And I said, unless it's a matter of life and death, no one gets excused until we walk out of here on a settlement.
Mm-hmm.
And we had to settle by 8 o'clock that night. And when it was all settled, she hugged me, and then he hugged me. And then 2 years later, why I performed her second marriage.
Is that right?
Yeah. Did that give you any ideas, Johnny?
No. What was the settlement? It was in the Guinness.
Well, it's in the Guinness Book of Records, so I'm free to say. I understand they say it's a split of $100 million. I wouldn't say if it hadn't been made public already, but it's a matter of public record.
$100 million. A lot of money. How do you... Let me give you a theoretical case here. No, I would not put the... No, I would not put His Honor on the spot that way. How do you go about determining something like that? Seriously, though.
Well, seriously, what you do is you speak to all the parties together first. Then you speak to them with their lawyers separately. Then you speak sometimes to the litigants themselves separately.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at the strengths and the weaknesses of their cases, and you point these things out to them. And then you try and work down to a figure. One may start up here and the other one down here, and then someplace in the middle, you'll work out a settlement.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm listening. My ears are...
Well, let me give you an example. If you want to take a divorce case by way of example, if you have a short marriage, a year to 5 years, we'll say, and you have a relatively young woman who's able-bodied, can go to work, those are weaknesses in that case because you go on what is necessary for this person to live on, and you go by the standard of living that that person's accustomed to. On the other hand, a strength in her case may be the wealth of the adversary.
What you're saying is things don't look good. That calls for conclusion from the bench, so I won't ask for that. What was the small claims court about a telephone? Somebody come in and you didn't work or something?
Yeah, something like there was a fellow came in, he bought his wife bought him an elephant telephone. He was a Republican.
Right.
And he got it at Christmas time, and about 4 months later, he decided to put a jack in and put it in, and he said it didn't work.
Right.
And the other party hadn't even tested it when they brought it back. Well, in my dressing room, which is my chambers at the studio, I have one of those jacks. So I took the phone back in, and I plugged it in, and I dialed the phone number of his boss. And the phone worked. His boss was there, so my judgment was for the defendant.
So that took care of that case right there?
That took care of that. He just was lousy at putting in a jack.
That's funny. What's been one of the most difficult decisions you've had to reach?
Well, I had a case once involving 2 horses. Well, there were 3, actually. It was a father, a mother, and a little filly.
Right.
And the owner of the mother said, of the stallion, rather, said it wasn't my horse who impregnated your mare.
Right.
And we finally wound up, I asked them if we'd mind continuing the case, and they said no. And they all went up to the UC Davis with their horses and had blood tests taken. So we had a horse paternity case.
Good heavens.
The producers were a little bit unhappy at first because they didn't know what to do with the case, because normally it's over. But they came back and they said 30 days have passed. We now have the blood test. Judge Wapner will take the bench again. I got the blood tests, and they showed that the was not the father.
Not the father?
Not the father. So it was judgment for the defendant again.
That's interesting. If you could change anything, I know this is a oversimplification, but if you could change anything about the law, a lot of people feel that it's backed up and it takes so long. I know judges are backed up. What is it that seems to bother people, the waiting to get into trial when these things happen?
Well, waiting is a problem. There's no question about it. But we are a very litigious society.
Yeah.
And
you think too litigious, do you think?
I think perhaps so.
It makes it too easy to sue for almost anything nowadays?
Well, people can sue. There's the old story about a fellow goes to the lawyer and says, can I sue? You can always sue.
Right.
The question is, do you have a meritorious claim?
Right.
And that's what a lawyer has to look into. And I think if more people would go into preventive law with lawyers and have things checked before they get into a deal, for example.
Right.
You have an agent.
Right.
You have a lawyer. Your lawyer checks your things before you go into a deal. Same thing with any legitimate businessman. And that helps prevent lawsuits. And I think we should also, once there is a lawsuit, make every effort to settle it before you get into court.
That's good advice.
Very important.
Good advice. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
Babies, on a routine basis, we include a glasses prescription check at about 8 months of age, give or take a month or two.
18-month-old Julia has worn her glasses for 4 months, and when they're taken off, the old crossing of the eyes comes back because of the farsighted and focusing problem.
Glasses take care of the farsightedness by putting the focusing strength in glass in front of the child's eye, so the child, his or herself, does not need to focus the eyes to see clearly.
Some of the early eyeglass wearers might develop good use of the two eyes together later, and the glasses could be set aside. But if the problems seen early are not corrected, children not wearing glasses could go on to require patching or surgery. Tiffany's mother thinks that prevention is worth any trade-off of cosmetic inconvenience.
I didn't start wearing glasses till I was 19, so maybe she may need them all her life, I don't know. But I think it's good to catch it early like this, though.
Gary Schweitzer, CNN.
And now a look at today's weather. Showers and thunderstorms are scattered across the Great Lakes region and the Ohio Valley. The Gulf Coast states and Florida also have scattered showers. Underwriters Laboratories in Illinois goes to great lengths to make sure products are safe. Even the Japanese are starting to sit up and take notice of this nearly a century-old company. CNN's Jeff Levine reports.
The people at Underwriters Laboratory have elevated industrial mayhem to a fine art. In this case, a 5-pound, 5-inch long weight is released like a pendulum into a TV picture tube. If it's properly designed, the glass should fall harmlessly to the floor, not explode around the room.
Impact!
This year, the lab will torture over 60,000 items. The rigorous testing is designed to ensure product safety. If the product doesn't pass, it won't get the coveted seal. It's an open and shut case. Government regulations require a refrigerator door to be opened with only 15 pounds of force, so a child can't be trapped inside. The door undergoing tests will be mechanically pulled open and pushed shut 300,000 times to make sure it won't fail. For 90 years, Underwriters Laboratory has been carrying on this kind of work. It's the oldest and largest product safety testing lab in the country. The laboratory was instrumental in developing standards for window unit air conditioners. Early models were prone to give their owners a shock after the units got drenched by a rainstorm. UL devised a test that dumps 12.5 inches of rain on the air conditioner in an hour, enough to ensure that the outer housing is watertight. While safety is the goal, UL doesn't test for overall quality or product value, a failing in the minds of some. But the laboratory is held in high esteem by industry and consumer groups. Just this week, the Japanese government announced that UL was authorized to inspect American products bound for Japan. Jeff Levine, CNN, Northbrook, Illinois.
And that's our report for this half hour. Thanks for joining us. I'm Bud Elliott. Around the world every half hour. This is CNN Headline News.
The Republican National Convention, Region 10 News, the commitment, the planning, the dedication. See it take form starting Monday, August 20th.
Let Home-Owned First Federal Savings increase your investment opportunities. You see, by offering you more ways to earn higher interest, the financial strength you create will build solid investment growth. Your investment plan could be based on fixed-term rates, short-term rates, money market rates, tax shelter earnings, or a combination of the above, whichever is best suited to your individual financial situation. Let one of the investment professionals at First Federal help you combine the right accounts to build a strong, solid investment growth.
The Democratic National Convention and a Region 10 News team was there, and our commitment to you continues.